Hello and welcome back to Hope Follows. I'm Julie Counselor, broadcaster, author, and host of the show. This is a place where we get to talk about hard things in life, but we don't stay there. We talk about the hope that follows those difficult times in our life journey. And today we're back with an episode of Hope Follows Conversations with Dr. Blanco, where medical wisdom meets hope. Hello, Dr. Blanco.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm great. We're going to talk about work-life balance because that is super important.
Correct.
To be healthy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Physically, mentally, emotionally. And we have the doctor here. So we're going to get her wisdom. All right. So many people are juggling responsibilities between work, family, and personal life.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start at the ground floor. What are some factors that make balance so hard?
Well, I think a lot of times it's thinking that you have to be good at everything and you sacrifice. Something always gives. I've learned that, advice given to me was you're a mother, you're a wife, you're an employee. You will not be great at all three. Something will suffer. And so I think the balance is trying to figure out what is truly the priority and then making the priority a priority, right? I think too many times we feel like we have to be good at everything. And one of the factors too is with 2020 and working from home, remote, I think it allows work to overcome everything. You can get an email at any time. Think about when we didn't get emails and when you clocked out at 5, you were done.
Right.
But if you still got emails that might need attention, instead of waiting the next day at 8 a.m. to do it, you might say, well, I'll just do it now. And so it's learning about boundaries and making sure we stick to those and knowing we can't be great at everything.
And we'll talk more about this and what it actually, how does this look? But you're right. And I'm even thinking of men and women because you are working from home. My husband works from home.
Okay.
Some of my sons work from home too.
Yeah.
It's just part of life now.
Yes.
Whether it's hybrid or full-time remote work.
Correct.
Or it's at the job away from home. But it is such a battle to make sure it doesn't cross over and consume you.
Correct. Yeah. When 2020 happened, my husband worked from home because he was with the school district and he found instead of working his normal, well, I hate to say like 10 or 12 hour days, they were 14, 16, 18 hour days. And so he said, you know what, I need to go into the office because he had a private office. But I think that helped to separate. I'm going to work. Now I'm home. I'm going to stop working. And so for him, he had to make that type of a change because he couldn't stop or wouldn't stop, I should say, rather. And so I think doing the boundary of a time, right? It's 5 o'clock, I'm going to stop. Because I think people could work all night continually. And we obviously know that's not healthy.
Why do we though?
It's a great question. I don't know if we're trying to compete with other people, compete with ourselves. What's the point? I think what's the goal? Do you think I'm going to get this promotion? Maybe I'm not making work the priority and therefore I'm behind. And so I'm trying to make up for something. Maybe it's escaping from home. It's hard to say what. I think everyone has a different reason. Or I think a common one is people don't know how to say no.
Oh, that's a big one. Don't know how to say no. And what about control and obsessiveness? I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I want to just get this finished. I mean, I find myself doing that. And my husband does the same. So is that an issue of obsessive compulsive?
It can be.
Or is it?
I think if it affects relationship, it is. Right? If you say, I just need this one more thing, but I'm missing out on my kids' game. I'm missing out on dinner with friends. I'm missing out on community. I'm saying no to social because I'm always saying yes to work. Then I think, yes, we're missing that. And so that would be a part of it, right? Or setting boundaries, like at 5 o'clock, I'm done, whether I'm done or not. And, or saying, okay, I've got 15 projects to do. I'm just going to do these 2 versus saying, well, this third one might not take too long. Well, this fourth one might be really quick and easy, and setting that guideline, the discipline to set, a time frame of I'm stopping at this time, and understanding that, you're not good if you aren't taking care of yourself then, and my focus is on the work, I'm not going to be a good employee or a good mother or a good wife. So it's always finding the balance of your health as well. A lot of people will say,
yes.
I don't have time to walk. Well, you do, or what's stopping you from doing that? And so a lot
I'm
of
too
times,
tired. I come home late at night,
right,
or I work late at night from home. I'm too
right,
tired. I just want to sit on the couch.
right. And I completely understand that.
But
There's no
that's what we're
judgment.
trying to talk about.
And
That's
that's,
not a good balance.
well, it's a good balance if you go home, sit on the couch, and rest.
Right. But if you don't do anything and you're not engaging with your family, you're not
Correct.
taking care of your
Correct.
body.
Like, let me come home, let's watch a movie together, or let's come home
Oh,
and let's eat
okay.
dinner together. But to sit and rest isn't bad. It's how you're resting, who you're doing it with. My husband will tell you the first thing I do, I come home, I lay down and I just kind of lay on him, and that's my time out. And I just tell him I just want to sit for 30 minutes and do nothing,
Yes,
but I want to
okay.
be by you. So if we talked last time about five love
Right,
languages.
sure.
So my love language might be quality time or affection. And so just me being with him, I'm happy. I'm in my happy place. So, and it could be me scrolling. It could be me just taking a nap. But I know I just need a timeout where I don't want to be. I think all day people are, we're giving. And so now I just want to give to myself. And if that means I do nothing, I'm not going to feel guilty about it. But that doesn't mean going into my room and hiding from everybody. It's going to be, well, let me spend some time. And that doesn't have to be actively going to do something, and just be with that person. Right.
That is such a great point, because you're almost killing two birds with one stone. And you're taking care of
Resting.
you, and you're also being with your husband.
Your spouse, right.
And there's a lot going on there. And then he's feeding your love language, and you might be feeding his. And now it's okay, though, too, if someone feels like they need to come home and they just want to sit, maybe read the newspaper.
Sure.
We read newspapers, or just have some time to themselves.
Yeah.
I know for me, I'm talking to people all day long, and sometimes I just want to go for a walk by myself.
Absolutely.
But then I crave going for a walk with my husband too, because that's our time to talk.
Yeah, conversation.
And connect, because he'll try to talk to me through the day, and I don't have that flexibility to just get off the phone or get off of what I'm doing for work.
Right. And that's when most spouses engage, right? It's dinner, that time out, in bed. How was your day? What happened? And that can take 1-2 hours just to have conversation, right? And just to connect on that aspect. That's correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And even if you're single, there's probably some friends that you want to hang out with, or maybe you want to play a video game. There's things that you want to do that will help you to be able to have more balance.
Right.
And I love to describe it like a baby mobile. Mobile? Is that
A
how you say
mobile,
it?
yeah,
Mobile.
mobile. It depends on what part of the country. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, we have people watching this all over, so yay.
There you go.
But it's that musical mobile, and it is hanging on different strings. I wanted to bring one.
Okay.
But I didn't have one. And it's different levels. And I had somebody describe it to me before. Well, right now, if you're starting this new business, you might have this string might be longer.
Right.
And then this string over here, your family, it might be a little bit shorter right now. Over here, your health might be kind of in between, where you're taking care of that. Your spiritual life is on there. Your financial responsibilities. Yeah. Exactly. And they're not going to be perfectly level at all times. So if you go look at a picture of one, they are so beautiful the way they're laid out differently and placed. And so that's how we are. If we have a string way down here, that means something's not right.
Right.
If all the others are way up here, so we got to try to draw them a little bit more even.
Right. I agree. That's a good vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also thought about, because you said the 5 o'clock check out, and I thought, well, why not treat, if you're working from home?
Yeah.
Why not treat it like you have a clock up in your office, and it maybe even has a Post-it note. Clock out time is 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or 4 p.m., whatever it is.
Right.
And then turn the computer off, close it, turn the light off, and leave the area.
Right. Yeah. I'm a huge, the smartwatch. So I talk to Siri all the time to say, like, set a timer, 4:55 p.m. go home, or whatever that memo is, right? And it's, I see she's already trying to set it. And
oh boy.
it's just, but I can be deep in work, and then my watch starts to, oh, okay, oh gosh, it's already time. Because before you know it, it's like, oh, we need to, yeah, it's time to go. So I really like telling, especially kids, like, hey, set that timer on your phone. Everyone has a phone, more than a smartwatch, just to say set a timer and just talk into it. Yeah, use your technology to your benefit.
That's
for sure.
true. Yeah,
Mhm,
that's good.
mhm.
Okay. And then, of course, there's the whole point of perfectionism versus healthy achieving. And I
Mhm.
was learning about that recently, and the cost of perfectionism and how it can affect your health negatively. It can affects your relationships. It even affects your work because you start to build standards that
Aren't
are they
achievable.
sustainable to
Yeah.
be able to achieve and
Right.
be at that level
Mhm.
forever.
Mhm.
And I don't think so. So, what do you think about that? Healthy achieving versus perfectionism.
I think the healthy achieving is based on the baseline you're holding that to. Right? So, like, if I have a lot of friends who might be pharmaceutical reps,
Mm-hmm.
and they say, well, our quota is ABC, and they meet their quota and they're excited about it. And then they'll come back 3 months later and go, now our expectations is QRS. And QRS isn't attainable. And they know it's not attainable. And so you see, physically, you see them in despair, because it's like, I'm not going to reach this goal, and I'm not going to make my bonus, and I'm not going to make this promotion. And so you have to almost say, okay, then just do your job diligently, because you know that's not attainable. So I think it's deciding what is attainable and what isn't. Is this the norm? If I want to say, oh, I want to see 60 patients a day, could I? Yes. Should I? No. Right? And so what's healthy? What's normal? Most doctors might see 15 patients a day or 20 patients a day. Well, what works for me? And well, how many patients do we need to see to make a certain cost to run the office and pay staff, versus what's the end goal? Is the end goal giving great care? Is the end goal trying to make as much money as possible? And being in family practice, it's never the latter, it's the former. So it's understanding what is it, and who am I holding this to? Am I holding a standard to something that, to your point, is unattainable, versus no, a certain amount of patients or people get to this number, this is going to be my next goal. And I think goals are always great. It's just, I'm more of a percentage person. So, hey, we had a 20% increase or decrease. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? So I think it's knowing your numbers and knowing what you're holding yourself accountable to and towards the goal. Yeah.
That's a great conversation for a person to talk with their employer about,
Right.
their manager, supervisor.
Well, what are the expectations?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. So
Yeah.
get this baseline, so okay, well, here's my expectation. Here's what I need to be doing for work.
Versus just doing the minimum.
Right. Not doing just the minimum, but also not going above and beyond if it's not necessary.
Or it's unattainable. Yeah, or it's unattainable.
It's affecting you. So
Right.
let's talk about the negative impact it has on people's health.
Yeah.
Because we talked about how it can steal time away from your family or from your friends and special people in your life, the special things you like to do. But how does this impact health negatively when work life is completely lopsided?
Well, I think there's the mental and the physical, right? Mentally, you can have depression, you can have anxiety, you can have insomnia or hypersomnia, where you're sleeping too much versus too little. I think health wise, you see the blood pressure, the headaches, the irritable bowel, or GI.
Irritable bowel and
GI function. You just see a lot of it. I mean, I'll see patients come with hives and urticaria, rashes, because they're stressed. Their body, I think, and I tell my patients that your body is kind of screaming at you, stop. We need to reassess what's happening. People will tell you they'll break out in their cold sores, they'll break out in acne. Your body, and it's all inflammatory. Now, the problem is that stress can also lead to heart attacks. It can lead to strokes. I believe I read the number one day we see most heart attacks is Christmas Day, because it's stressful. Whether it's good stress or bad stress, it's still stressful. It's a stressful day.
Wow.
It has many different ways of showing itself.
I have never heard that. I heard that Mondays
8 a.m.
are
So,
the
you know, when
big
people
days
say
for heart
my
attack.
grandpa died in his sleep, well, it was probably about between 5 and 8 a.m. in the morning. And yeah,
Huh.
very common Mondays. But yeah, I think Christmas
Yeah.
Day was quoted as the #1 day for most heart attacks. Very interesting.
That tells you something, not just work-life balance, but everything.
Yeah.
We need to be making sure we're balanced. We're not trying to take on more than
Too
we
much.
should.
Right.
Okay, so when people are under constant pressure, overworking, how can they pivot and stop? And what are some suggestions you have to stop that behavior and to reevaluate and kind of change it? We talk about the clock, we talked about, just get off at 5, but what are some other practical ways people can get off of that mad cycle of work life where it's not balanced?
I think it's probably first acknowledging when you stop doing the things you normally do, right? Hey, I used to go to happy hour once a week with my husband or my girlfriends or whatever that looks like, or dinner, whatever. And I'm not doing that anymore because, oh, I need to work. I think when you start saying no to a lot of the social, like we talked about earlier, I can tell when I'm feeling like I'm getting burned out, right? And so it's like, okay, let me take a day, or I'll tell my husband, let's just stay home this weekend, or let's go away this weekend. Or I know sometimes it can be stressful to think, let's take a vacation for a week, and you're going, oh, I'm going to come back to so much work. Versus, no, let's get away. I want to run away. Let's go. Let's just escape to wherever that looks like. So I think it's recognizing when you might be more irritable, you might be more moody. And so recognizing the symptoms you might have. I'm shorter with my husband. I might be more cross or whatever that looks like. And then saying, okay, what's really happening? Am I allowing the work to stress me more? Do I need to take a step back? So it's probably figuring out what your triggers are first than anything else.
How do we talk to a relative, a friend, if we see them in that cycle? How do we help them?
I think for me, now fortunately my husband's retired, but he was in a very stressful job, right? His job was very taxing. And so and he did a really good job of not bringing the stress home, but I could tell when he was stressed. And so I think as a wife, as a friend, as a relative, it would be, hey, I see you're stressed. What can I do to help?
Oh, that's good.
I think just knowing someone's in your corner. And I read somewhere that even if you offer to help, most of the times people won't take you up on it, but they'll remember what you said or how you made them feel, to say, you don't want to add to the stress, but it's like, what can I help you do? Do you want me to help you with this? Would you like me to pick this up? Would you like me to, or I notice you seem stressed. Is there anything I can do to lessen the load? And I think that's a first point of contact. Or I know sometimes when he was stressed, I would just call someone up to say, hey, can we bring you over? Let's do couples massages, or I'm going to get some food that's already made. Nobody has to worry about cooking or figuring things out. It was just, how can I help lighten the load? Now, fortunately, he loves to work in the yard, and I know that was his way to decompress. So it was nice to say, hey, go do that. I'm going to take care of this, or I'm going to take the kids, or you go ahead and do whatever. So, or I know, like, when I'm stressed and he can see it, it's like, hey, don't worry about this. I'll take care of that. I'll handle this. So it's always, I think, trying to figure out a way, but maybe just saying, I can see you're stressed, or you seem like you're stressed. Is there something I can do? Just being transparent and honest, I think is always a win.
Yeah. Because you're not attacking them. You're just recognizing.
I think it's coming from a place of concern.
Yes.
Right. And versus saying, why are you being so mean, or you're snapping at me?
Right.
Just say, you seem like you might be a little stressed. Was work very stressed? Is there anything I can do to help? Was work stressful? And I mean, my husband's come back to say, you know what, I need to get another hour or two in. Are you okay if I go back into the office to get this finished? Because if I finish it, then I know my stress will be better. Go do it. Don't feel obligated. Because I think it's like, now I got to go home and I got to do this. Well, yes, there's your work-life balance, but sometimes we say, if I can just finish this task, the next 4 days will be great. Hey, go ahead and do it, versus giving him a guilt trip that he wants to do it. Because I know at the end of the day, he'll feel less stressed and more balanced, right?
Right.
And so I think it's that negotiation too of the partner, for sure.
Communicating.
100%.
For sure. I mean, that's the
Not trying to read someone's minds, but actually using your words.
Right. Or, he just isn't coming home and you have no idea where he's at. Right. I mean, that does happen. So if you have a partner out there, please communicate and let them know if you're staying late for work.
Right.
Does this sound okay? It's not that you're
considerate of the other person, because they might be concerned that you could have gotten in an accident or something.
Right.
But, and it's not so much asking permission. It's like, I recognize if I get this out of the way, this will definitely help my stress level. Do it, right? Yeah. Handle it.
So then we can have our date night tomorrow or whatever it is.
And you can be present and not thinking about this other thing that needs to happen. Yes. For sure.
You're preoccupied. Yeah. That's good. Then that's why, again, sometimes work might be a little bit more, right? But we need to learn how to manage it so it doesn't control everything else. We control it, right? So because we're the ones, God gave us this wonderful life, and He gave us all these blessings, and we have to be good stewards and time managers.
So I told a patient the other day. I said, because she was talking about workload and work this, I said, isn't it interesting that God, who made everything, rested? Oh, yes. So who are you to think that you have to work 7 days when God actually commanded us to rest? That's a commandment, right? So He's commanding us to rest because He knows we need it. And so people who say, oh, I work 7 days a week, or I don't have enough time, well, God of the universe rested. So that should tell you something. And I could tell it really resonated with them to really reassess how they were doing their work-life balance.
That's good. Well, I hope that resonated with you watching, friend, and encouraged you. As we close up, well, actually, our next episode next month will be about more conversations with stress and anxiety. So we're going to take this topic and kind of lead into some more about the good mental health. Okay, so we want to make sure that people who are our friend watching, that they leave with something good and solid. I mean, the whole episode is filled with so many great tips and just so much wisdom that you have, Dr. Blanco. And we just want to make sure that whoever is feeling overwhelmed right now, maybe you're feeling burnt out, what message of hope would you share with that person watching?
Well, I think it's healthy to say no. I think it's healthy to know that you can't be great at everything. And I think it's important that we remember what the priority is. And it's okay to put yourself first so you can be better at what you do in the long term. Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So maybe you can take some time to reevaluate. Yep. I actually recently, I have a life coach, and she had me do an inventory. She teaches us how to do this inventory. Yeah. So evaluating my life, how many hours do I have in my wake up time, all the things I want to do. And then I was in shock because I assigned times. Okay, my thankfuls in the morning, my prayer, and my feel good flows. But these things take time. Yeah. And then some other things, I'm listing out through my whole day, my walk time. And before I knew it, okay, I could fit these in here. It's like doing some kind of puzzle that you're putting together.
Yeah, I can see that. That. Well, and time's important, and we all have the same amount. It's just how do we prioritize it?
Exactly. So I had to pick, well, what's most important? And what I was spending too much time on some things, and I could clearly see, okay, I can allocate 2 days a week to that.
There you go.
And then it's not taking me 6 days.
Yeah.
If I just
freedom in that.
Yeah.
Good for you.
There is.
Good.
So maybe, friend, you can do some inventory about your life. And thank you for sharing today.
Absolutely.
Dr.
Thanks
Blanco.
for having me.
Of course. Thank you again for watching and tuning in to Hope Follows. Remember, go to hopefollows.com for more resources, for other previous episodes. Of course, to get the book, Hope Follows. And again, thank you for being on the journey as we look at the hard things in life, but it's the hope that follows that.